Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning! From my smartphone to yours, I'm Castin Love, here from the Serious Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. This is your Thursday Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, stepº18. My modality is psychic astrology. My personal mission is to stand in my heart and help other people stand in theirs and to unite the light. It is time, my friends. This webisode is for Thursday, April 7th, 2016, and today the galactic clock has reached step 18, Aries. Now, step 18 Aries is a grandmaster step, by the way. We'll be talking about that in the Zen Den. But it means that the ego is being rewritten. Bells are ringing. And let me say congratulations to Bernie Sanders for Wisconsin. Bells are ringing, okay? People think they are stuck in a certain rut. They say things can't be done. Folks, that is the man talking you out of it. Because if there's one thing I know about creation is there is infinite possibilities, and it is up to you to make that decision. And we're going to do day 2 today of the Megascope, and I will have the Zen Den following this show as well. So let's, without further ado, kind of go into my guides and talk about what's going on today on a Step 18 day. Okay, so much stuff comes up to the present here. This is really a huge decision for everyone who is watching, particularly people who are watching, because, astrology aside, I can say that I know that I'm here to, shed light on things and be a messenger of sorts, and so if you're watching, you're meant to hear this, okay? There's no, and I'm going to start to relax in that a bit more, and just trust what I feel. But speaking for where we all are, brothers and sisters, today is a decision. Today's LightCast day, so feelings and ego are intertwined. You might be triggered very easily by old stuff or want to go down old fight paths, or you may be seeing them dead. Almost like you're on a parade and you're seeing an old you going by. But we are making a historical, and that is the word, you're making a historical decision in your life, and it might be extremely quiet. For some clients, it's as quiet as deciding to quit smoking, which is huge, actually, because of how it holds a person back with nicotine and energy always lost. So people need it to soothe, but the point is a tiny little decision like that, to soothe differently, to pursue differently, to live differently, you're making that decision now. Your feelings are with you. If you feel sick or tired, you're on the wrong path. It's going to get harder. So be honest with your heart. Open up to what you really believe. We are getting pregnant with the future. It is unwritten. And just like the people who happened to be alive during the American Revolution, which I've always been fascinated with as a time, I literally obsessed on American Revolution stuff when I was a kid, going through high school, just obsessed on it. Totally didn't have to tell me to study for that. I now know it's because we're going to live a similar time. And my spirit was fascinated by it because I knew with Pluto and Capricorn we're going to move in this new time. I often make this reference when I talk to people in the sense, and I say that, we didn't know what, there were colonists talking about independence, and there were colonists talking about sticking with the British. Way before there was ever a war, way before anything ever happened, you had to decide what side you were on. and you had to live with these neighbors, and you had to either betray them or not betray them, or whatever it's going to be. Think about how kind of sick and twisted that is. That was very difficult. Imagine if if one neighbor could be with the British and one neighbor could be and you get caught. What if you don't even make a decision and you're just caught in the crossfire? Very scary times. Now, do I think it'll be like that this time? God, I hope not. I don't think so. What history teaches me is that the next time a nation does something like that, it doesn't have to be that severe. So I don't believe we go to that sort of war. I don't think we have to go to war and die. I think that's part of what the new Aries is. And I think that's what the part of the choice you're making today is. The choice you're making today is, what side of the line are you on? Are you on the side where it's going to take war to get there? Are you on the side that we can maybe not have to fraction off anyone in the country? Maybe this time, instead of fighting it out, maybe we actually come to a determination. But in your own life, in a very quiet little moment, you're making a decision today and sticking by it quietly. This is just a sprout. It's going to take until Mars goes direct to grow. So not until July will you see this come to fruition. You have to be patient and loving and protect the little sprout of this new you all the way up until July 1st. So, if you make a choice that's hard, be easy on yourself. If you make a choice that's going to take a lot of change, be compassionate. Take off the burden. Make it easier on yourself. If you can get out of it easier as far as the load, you should. One thing about spirit is it's gentle, it's quiet. So when you choose a spiritual path, it feels great from the first step, from the first day that you walk in it. You get paid by God day one. So I think a lot of people, you included, are making a decision. This decision is going to kind of get smacked on your back. This is my joke. God smacks you on your back, and everyone's stuck in that face for probably 19 years. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. It's a huge one. And this is really the coming of an era. Some people were born now to bring peace on earth. Some people were here to watch. Whatever the case, some people were here to cause the trouble. Okay? Everyone got their roles in the spiritual football game, and we're deciding now, you're deciding what team you're on. Are you going with the heart? And that's what the light is? Are you going with the ego? That's doubt and fear. Or are you going to observe over the side and eat popcorn? Which a lot of souls do. They just observe and they cheer and they vote when it's necessary. And they don't want to get into the blood and guts of it. They'll do that in another lifetime. Not everyone gets into the game. And that's okay. What's cool is that we can all watch now. Right? So make that decision and feel good about it today. Make sure you let it rest for 36 hours. In other words, do not tamper with it. You don't have to tell anybody. Go to bed, loving this new part of you and holding it gentle like a candlelight in your hands. That's how it has to be handled, I believe, in the beginning of something profound. All right, let's move on to the Zen Den. And welcome to the Zen Den. Let's take 3 breaths, and when we go into spirit, I'm going to ask for a ruling planet or a planet that I should start with. And maybe you pick up on it too. This is kind of a telepathy game. And now that I'm moving Zen Den to, for subscribers, we're going to get a lot deeper and work on our psychic abilities and using the artificial intuition. I'm going to be able to know where you are psychically, and I'm creating new media that helps support different types of psychics and different types of intuition. But see what you pick up on when we go in. Let's take 3 breaths. Oh, goodness. And, it's kind of cliche, but I'll say it right away. The planet I got was Mars. I asked 3 times, a strong Mars, a strong resonant Mars. And it's no surprise. We're in a Grandmaster Step 18 Mars day. Truly we are. Today the sun is at Step 18. Now, first of all, Step 18 is 1 plus 8 makes 9 in this step system I come up with that combines numerology with astrology and degrees. And the 9 is the ruling number of Aries. So when you have a Grandmaster step, you have the ability to program the whole astrological zodiac energy of that. So in that day, when it's all purebred, you can reprogram that completely entirely. So it gives us freedom of complete decision and change. So having it line up like this is no accident. It was LightCast day early in the morning, like 4 a.m. Pacific time. And so people are they made the decision before they went to bed last night as far as what they believe, because you were already sleeping into it, into the morning, and assimilating it into your consciousness. So today, we want to act on, that's what the 9 is, we want to act on what it is that we love, that's step 1, and have decided. Step 8. All right? What you love and have decided. Now remember, a decision is an incision in consciousness. You're cutting away what you no longer believe, and you're leaving complete fresh ground to grow anything you want. It's not what one thinks. I teach this. And it's the negative that's necessary to hold up the positive. Something has to negate something. You have to be not something to be something else. And so step 8 is, I am not this, therefore I'm anything in this direction, and I act on it, 9. Now what I teach in the 11 Steps of Serious Joy is you have to put into motion what you want to manifest. You have to put it into motion. This is why there are ceremonies, and there are dances, and there are drums, and there are all these things, because you have to put it into motion. In modern day life, it means you must take action on the thing you intended. So if you decided this, you need some sort of ceremonial action. And that's what I recommend for today, a ceremonial action. A ceremonial action might be going out and charging something because you know you're going to be fine. Ceremonial action, I'm going to be fine. There's more where that came from. Okay, and that's what you want to do on a Step 18 day. Now, you're talking to a Step 18 Taurus here who loves Step 18 with his whole life and understands this degree more than anything. To me, there's nothing more exciting. But I'm a Taurus, actually. My Step 18 is not quite as powerful as the Step 18 of a purebred Aries. Definitely. A Step 18 Aries could get more done than I get done. Okay, but I'm a Taurus. I wanted to build into Lego structures and stuff like that. So we're on a Step 18 day. The moon has crossed over the sun. And it's not 4 hours after it crosses over the sun that you are already feeling the change. Because as the moon crossed Uranus at step 20, it would have elevated or knocked down your mood. So if it knocked down your mood, you're on the wrong path. You need to look up and see where you're missing the signposts. Okay? If you feel elevated, you're on the right path. It's pretty much that way in how you feel. And look at this. At 11:21, when it starts to get fun, the time I was born, ding! My little Leo rising. At this time, this is when the moon goes 22 degrees, which means people are waking up and watching soul horoscopes or whatever, and they're realizing, holy shit, things have changed. Now, our mind is at step 3, Mercury, and when Mercury's at 3, we're asking the question, what's next? What comes up? So intellectually, our minds are just like totally open. Keep in mind, once Mercury builds up the whole Taurus, it's going to retrograde all the way back. We'll talk more about that, but it's just kind of like, go ahead and make your plans, but plan to change your plans, because Mercury is going to retrograde and go backwards. Okay, the other thing that's really important is this, step 8. And then we got to talk about Venus. And by the way, Mars is what I got for the planet of the day. It was Mars. So Mars is this is a Mars day, a Grand Master day of Mars, but where is Mars? Where is he? Well, he's right over here in Sagittarius, and he is pushing for new beliefs. Okay, that's what Sag is. But he's going to retrograde, which means he's going to get slapped on the back and then go in for a male makeover all the way till almost basically June 25th. Let me see my notes here. Yep. So that's a long time. Male energy will be deflated. Okay, anyone who's rah-rah and relies on male energy is going to feel deflated. I don't know. Donald Trump's probably going to be deflated during the time. Be very interesting. It's where the universe kind of like puts things in. Could also be for Hillary Clinton some issues with the with all of her Benghazi email stuff. Likely could come up in the Mars retrograde, because Mars retrograde is also part of your karmic fortune. So if you've been if you have bad karma. And I'm not saying anything about anyone, but if you've had bad karma in the past, you might have to somehow face it. I think everyone will face it, honestly. Those who are positive or out there trying to teach the world, because I think I was bad hard in bad times. I mean, I have past life views of like, wow, I don't think I was the nice guy. And that's, wow, that surprised me. But also it doesn't surprise me, because it's like, no wonder I want to be so good. Okay? So everyone goes to their shift. Everyone has to kind of face their stuff. And it's like you're either facing it by making a positive example and moving forward after you're knowing, or you're facing it by being made an example of. But everyone will have that experience, I think, during the Mars retrograde. So the point of Spirit of bringing up Mars today is Mars is at step 8. 8 is a decision. You decide. You are deciding what you don't believe anymore. If nothing else, keep it that simple. What you don't believe anymore. I don't believe I'm a victim anymore. I don't believe I'm poor. I don't believe I'm on this path. I don't believe I'm on that path. And that's really what the decisions are. You're telling your ego the nots first, which leaves you open to what's truly left with what your heart wants, or at least what you have, through spiritual reincarnation, finally come to the conclusion about. Okay, like, all right, we've been through this 1,000 times. I'm not doing it again, It's like, so we don't. The other important thing is Saturn retrograde, which is at step 16, which adds to a 7. And Spirit wants to point out that the 6 here. 6 is easygoing, where you can open up. So if you can't open up to extreme Islamic terrorism, you're not supposed to. If your heart can't open up to something, you shouldn't. And for anyone who is tempted to do that, if your heart is telling you to do something like that, you should do it. I don't think their hearts are telling them. I think ego is and other stuff. And I have all kinds of other theories I'll talk about in my Sensei stories once I move these other segments to subscription. But I want to share some things that I think is going on here spiritually that no one's really talking about. We'll be talking about that in the future. But the point is the decisions you make about what you don't believe, leaving open what you do believe, okay? And then secondly, the actions you take in ceremony today will pretty much be the slap on the back, you signing the soul agreement, and we're going to play this one out, and until halftime, we won't know. Okay, that's an excellent ending, and I'm starting to channel more and more and enjoying it on camera, I have to say, too. So thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, I'm going to be making some changes. The first half of the show, the Megascope, is going to be free to the public. This Zen Den is going to be moving to just subscribers only, so I would appreciate if you'd like to hop on board the Magic Wagon. We're going to be doing some serious joy fun. I'm being instructed to share a lot of information, but share it behind closed doors. So for those who feel called, you definitely should. If you have any issues with us or the service, you should let us know. I'm putting out a survey for my subscribers because I'm going to be making a lot of changes to the Serious Joy subscription service as well in the future, in the short future. Until then, my friend, thank you so much for listening to all my babble. I love you so much. It's such a pleasure to be of soul service. Whatever happens today, stay in the light, live in your heart, make a decision to live on the better spiritual path for you. In other words, the peaceful, loving, compassionate journey is the journey you should choose. It's a simple choice in front of you. If nothing else, a left or right, which is more compassionate. But by taking a symbolic action in the direction of what's right for you, even if you don't know what's going to happen, I can guarantee that the ripples of that cause will create a peaceful effect. I'll see you in 24 hours with more. Until then, Grasshopper, live, love, be.